It should remarkably be remembered that when Bishop Hannington was murdered from Chando in Busoga Diocese, his body was exhumed and carried by two men who thought they would take it back to Kenya, where it would later be exported back to the UK.
Our story comes in because of Bishop Hannington, who came in this place in October 29th, 1985. Bishop Hannington was the first bishop of Eastern Equatorial Africa. He was arrested at Chando, Bunya, County in Busoga, Eastern Uganda, along with 50 African associates. They were cruelly and shamefully tortured for 3 days and then murdered in cold blood, and that was on 29th. The first 48 of the 50 indigenous faithful were brutally speared to death before Hannington's eyes. Then Hannington himself, likewise, he was also speared to death. Miraculously, 2 of the 50, Ochola, who happens to be a Msamia from Lunyo, and Osore. Osore is a Samia, but he's from Kenya, from a place called Odiado. They escaped this horrific Holocaust. Subsequently, these 2 people went back to Bunya and exhumed his mortal remains of Hannington, and later carried them through an extremely dangerous, torturous route back to Budimo. You can imagine those days, wild animals, name it. And this body of Bishop Hannington, they were carrying it, walking, and they were en route to Mumias. They were taking this body to Mumias en route to take it back to England. So as they moved along, they reached this place called Budimo. And as you know, they must have been very tired. So they rested in this place.
It is in Budimo where the sausage tree is, also known as Mutabi in the local dialect, where Bishop Hannington's body was kept before its second burial in Budimo. Although the body of Bishop Hannington was later exhumed and then buried at St. Paul's Cathedral, Namirembe, Budimo has remained a historical site whose development is underway, among which is the Bishop Hannington tourist site.
And when they got here, they found there's a fort here, fortress. And there were 2 clans, Abaliali and Ebanyadeti. And of course, those days and these days, we have taboos. A body of a white person could not be brought in the fortress. So at that time, they were like, no, we cannot keep that body there. They decided to bring it here. They first put it down there. And then they were like, all the animals, lions, name it, hyenas. And they were like, no, we can't leave it down. We have to put it atop the tree. So they put it atop that tree, this sausage tree, which we call Mutabi in Lusamia. So they put his body up, and the elders, of course, you just can't do these things without slaughtering animals. So they were given animals they slaughtered because now they had a foreign body around. So this tree here, as you see, this is where Bishop Hannington's remains were placed for 2 days, pending departure to Mumias and back to Mombasa.
It is evident in Bukedi that personalities that have served the diocese are given due respect by naming them after institutions, among which are Bishop Hannington Budimo Bible College, Bishop Hannington Bible College in Tagali Campus, Florence Hall, this being named after Canon Justice James Egola's wife, in respect of the work the two have done for the diocese, including constructing a church which is about to be completed in Samaleda Archdeaconry. Another remarkable historical site in Bukedi Diocese is the Lugwere Bible Monument, which is located in Budaka Archdeaconry, a place where the Lugwere Bible was launched from the late Dr. Simon Mukama, the Secretary General of the Bible Society Uganda, a place where the church was first constructed before it was banished by the locals.
This starts or heralds the renaissance of the village of Budimo in this Lumino Samia Bugwe district, Busia district. And this, after this, we have had visits, subsequent visits of very important persons. In 1993, the church started a relationship with the family of the late Bishop Hannington through Mrs. Elizabeth Hannington. And since 1993, the family of Bishop Hannington has been assisting in reconstruction and renovation of our church. But the church is not yet completed. As you have seen with your own eyes, a lot more remains to be done. Lastly, I want to let you know that in May 15th, 1998, we received the Archbishop of Canterbury. That was Right Reverend George Leonard Carey. He came here to Budimo to witness the same. On the occasion, His Grace the Archbishop graciously laid a foundation. And here lies where his words were. It's unfortunate, the words are not there. For future theological college to be in this place as a memorial of Bishop Hannington.
The diocese has a center of educational institutions located in West Budama Archdeaconry with a number of schools ranging from primary to tertiary, with support from the old students like Tanga Odoi, who constructed a classroom block in memory of his late uncle, who was a former head teacher.
Where we are is actually the second historical site in the Archdeaconry of Budaka. This was actually where the church started from in 1900. And then the community did not receive the church. They did not welcome the church. They became so violent. The first church structure which was built was demolished, vandalized. It was even burnt. It was then from here that the church was taken to St. Luke Namirembe Hill. So the church began here, but it was burnt, and then the community decided to take the church to the other side, where it was welcomed. So the church was in refuge in Namirembe for some time until 2017, when the parish decided to revive the worship activities here. So this is a very historical site because the church began here, and so we thought we should construct a Bible monument here in honor of the word of the Lord. The Bishop of Bukedi Diocese permitted Dr. Nicodemus Okile to come and receive the President of Uganda, who came to actually launch this Bible monument. So this is St. James Church of Uganda, which is actually a host to this Bible monument. You can see,
we are seeing names.
You can see the names of the heroes of the faith who are being memorized here in Bugwere land, who actually gave in resources, they gave in their time. Some of them died for Christ. You can see in the list is Bishop Lucas Gonohaza, who was at one time an assistant bishop of Kampala Diocese. He was at one time a bishop in Bukedi Diocese. So this is a very, very historical place.
The church has been remodeled from the old church as one of the initial preparations to welcome a new diocese. The same archdeaconry also hosts a traditional primary school called Namirembe Primary School, one of those very first schools in the diocese.
Namirembe Day and Boarding Primary is a traditional school
It started some good years back, around 1932. This school is a Church of Uganda founded school. It is started by the Church Missionary Societies. One of the founders of this school, the one who is in the profile, there was Mothers, is in the record. There was Langiri. These were whites I'm talking about. Then after the departure of those people, Africans took over. From its inception, this school has caused a lot of impact in the area. Actually, it's one of the best performing schools in Eastern.
As part of the Eastern Cluster, Bukedi Diocese Bishop Samuel Bogere Egesa, being the chairperson of the bishops of the 10 dioceses, has called on people to come in big numbers on 3rd June as we commemorate the Uganda Matters.
In the first place, I want actually to interest people to come on 3rd June in Namugongo, because this is Eastern Cluster. In the Eastern Cluster, we have very many tribes. And so we are going to celebrate the matters this time in a special way. We are going also to have some presentations in our cultures here. For instance, we are expecting a choir from Karamoja. Those people have a way they present, and when they put on their costumes, they are like, they believe in cows there. So they have things like tails, and it will be very, very special. The other thing is that the speaker this time, our preacher, is the Archbishop of the Anglican Church of North America, the Most Reverend Dr. Foley Beach. And His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, is expected to be the guest of honor. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, will be the main celebrant.